There are a lot of changes nationwide, globally, especially right now, as all these different COVID variants are running around and making our life even crazier than it already was, right? But has it really changed much for Florida? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you what recently has changed and what has not. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, I'm Emily. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Florida, and this channel is dedicated to all things living, working, playing, sleeping, eating, as well as the Florida real estate market. So if that resonates with you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That really helps me out a lot, but it also lets you know when I'm dropping new videos. And as always, if you have any real estate related question or you are looking to relocate to the Tampa, St. Pete area or surrounding areas, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I've been getting calls from so many people and I just love it. So all my links are below. You can reach out to me and then we can start that conversation. I can have your back when you're relocating to the Tampa, St. Pete area. So today I wanted to give you an update on the pros and cons of relocating to Tampa with some of the recent changes that are going on in our world. So as we all know, there's a bunch of different COVID variants running around and lots of states are taking different precautions. And Florida has been holding steady to what we've always been doing. Like it or not, we are pretty wide open. We don't have hardly any restrictions. Basically, our state is operating, get a vaccine if you want a vaccine, get a booster if you want to get a booster, wear a mask if you want to wear a mask, or don't do any of the above. It's all up to you. So if that is something that works for you, as it was working for several of my clients who have felt very restricted over the last 2 years, then Florida could be for you. It's something you might want to consider. Again, we have so many opportunities to sit out in the open air, even in the winter time. That's also very attractive to a lot of people that have been having to deal with restrictions. So it doesn't really matter where you land on the spectrum, but if for your lifestyle and your family's lifestyle, you're looking to be able to get out a little bit more and do things that you want to do, Florida's for you. You can wear a mask in a store. You don't have to wear a mask in a store. You can wear a mask in a restaurant. You don't have to wear a mask in a restaurant. It's really up to you. So that's attractive to a lot of people. Also, I want to touch upon something that's really important. We are a resort town. We are a resort state, really. And our service industry took a big hit, like most people's service industry in other states. But ours specifically took a major hit because, again, we have so many vacationers. So I just want to put a little public service announcement out there. Be kind to your wait staff. Be kind to the maitre d' or the hostess or the owner of little restaurants around here. I'm noticing that the wait time to get into restaurants is increasing. A lot of that has to do with they just don't have enough waitresses and waiters. We were in a restaurant over on Davis Island with a bunch of friends and we were trying to get a table and it took it took just under an hour. They told us it'd be an hour. It took about 45 minutes to get a table. We saw a bunch of open tables. But as my girlfriend reminded me, she's like, yeah, but they don't have enough staff. So that they are just starting to get, that going again. You're going to see signs everywhere looking for help. So if the service industry is something you're looking into getting into in Florida, we've got opportunity for you. Also, if you're looking to relocate, but you don't necessarily have a job yet, or your job isn't allowing you to transfer yet, and you're trying to, go into a new career, getting something in the service industry is also an option for you here. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I talk about frequently is the kindness of strangers here in Florida. And there for a while, it was getting pretty rough. It's almost like as kind as people were, they could turn on a dime and be just as hateful. I think our political season that has passed us by, thank you, Lord Jesus, has changed a lot of people and softened a lot of people. I think we're all ready to put that baby to bed and move on with being kind to our neighbors and kind to strangers. So I can say that something I've heard from some of my clients as well as friends is that people seem to be in better moods and nicer. And I do think that has a lot to do because we haven't been locked down like everybody else as well. So again, don't forget, kindness goes a long way. And if somebody tries to get in a political debate with you, do what I do. right now, I just don't really care. I don't want to know what your political affiliation is. If you want to share it with me, great. I'm not going to share with you mine. I'm going to keep that to myself. That's the way I was raised, and I kind of wish we would all get back to that. Like, keep it to yourself. Religion and politics, keep it to yourself. And you know I can't have a video without talking about traffic. If you've seen any of my videos before, and actually, click right up here if you want to see more of my videos. I talk a lot about traffic. It's something you really have to prepare yourself for. I've mentioned before that I lived in Los Angeles for quite a long time. I lived in Atlanta. I've driven around New York, New Jersey many, many times, big cities, and I have never come across the kind of drivers that we have here in Florida. They are the worst. I'm not sure you can find one person that could disagree with me. And if you do disagree with me, comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, because every day I'm on the road, it doesn't matter what interstate I'm on, road, people forget to use their signals and they run red lights, and they think that if they're in the left lane and they need to get to the right lane to exit, that it doesn't matter who's there, and it doesn't matter if they're on an interstate where people are speeding, they are just gonna come right across. It happens every day. I don't understand it. Did anybody teach these people how to change lanes safely or to plan ahead? And if you miss your exit, people, just go to the next one. Turn around. It's not that big of a deal. There's a lot of urgency around here. People are very combative. They're kinder when they're out of their car. They turn into maniacs when they get in their car. And so you got to think about that. Also, we're coming up on season, snowbird season. That's usually January to April. And people from the Northeast usually come down. They have vacation homes here, or they're bringing their family down here to vacation. And it becomes crazy with our traffic. Not just during the peak hours when kids are going to school or when people are going to and from work. It becomes trafficy all the time. So you kind of have to plan ahead. I personally use Waze. I love Waze. It syncs with my calendar, and it tells me exactly when to leave, and it gives me an update. Did you know that? And something else I know you're just waiting to hear about is our real estate market. Listen, here's the deal. Florida's been booming for a very long time. COVID just sent it into outer orbits. We have had a home price increase 30% this year. But in comparison to another popular town that people are relocating to, like Austin, Texas, they had home prices increasing 45%. So you have to keep that in mind, that every state is going through its own sort of boom as everybody's trying to figure out where they want to relocate to. So don't be afraid of the market. Also, interest rates are still at a historic low. We are going to see them creep up again. But don't forget, there was a time when interest rates were 12%. If they go 5, 4, that's still really great on a 30-year fix. So keep that in mind. And as far as equity in your home, I know everybody's I know some of my clients are having an issue with they think they're overpaying for a home. And you can't overpay when the supply and demand start to dictate home prices. You can't play that game. You can't wait for prices to decrease. It's not going to happen. The ceiling is now the floor. So home prices are going to start right at that $350 for your basic 3.2. If you want something less than that, you're going to have to look in some different areas, but we can talk about that. But so we're talking about equity in a home. 73% of all homes right now, when you're at the closing table, have 20% equity in them as you're walking into them. That's significant. So don't worry so much about, thinking you're overpaying. You're not overpaying if you're walking in with equity right off the bat. I have a girl right now that I'm helping her with her townhome that we've been under construction with for a year and a half. It was supposed to only take 6 months. We're going to talk about that in a minute. She got her appraisal done. She bought the townhome for $261. It appraised for $325. She's pretty happy. Let's talk about supply and demand. Let's talk about new construction. When you're talking about timelines from, getting under contract to closing table in a new construction home, you have to take into consideration our supply problem right now with lumber shortages and hiked fees just for the lumber. Windows, I think we couldn't get windows for a long time. And so the prices for windows were going outrageously out the window. Like what I did there. Full of them today. So you have to understand that whatever's going on in the world is going to affect supply chain. And then it's also going to affect, time to get things completed. So a builder might be able to say, oh, we can get this done in 8 months. You need to tack on another at least 3. This townhome I'm talking about, we went under contract a year ago, October. It is now December, moving into January, a year and a couple months later. We pray we're going to close in January. What has to do with that is the labor shortage. So a lot of people obviously are collecting that unemployment. They've just made it easy to do that. Or people have COVID. So it's definitely going to be a longer process if you choose the new home construction as your option. But also you have to remember you need an advocate like myself. I can help you with builders. You definitely want somebody with boots on the ground as you're constructing your new home. If you live somewhere outside of the state of Florida, you can't come here every week or every couple of weeks to check on how the construction process is moving for you. I just had to do this for a client. We finally got the foundation and the walls up, and I went down there and they had forgotten a door. So I had to go wreak holy havoc on them until they got that fixed. But if you're just gonna sign your contract and wait to get to closing day, you can't go in between and fix these little things, but I can do that for you. So keep that in mind. I wanted to speak a little bit to sinkholes. It's been coming up a lot in some of my comments as well as with some other clients, and honestly, I haven't had to deal with this much. I only had one property in Hudson, which is north of Tarpon Springs, that had some remediation done to a sinkhole problem in the backyard. The seller has to disclose certain items to the buyers before you go under contract. That's called a seller's disclosure. Make sure you get that when you are looking at homes. Make sure your agent or me grabs that for you. So it's one of those things. I don't have a lot to tell you about sinkholes other than what I could Google for you or you could Google yourself. There are maps. That's why I suggest you do your Google searching, look at the maps, look at the areas. They're random. They happen. It's Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, and Pasco County. It's because we're sitting on limestone. It's just part of it. I don't think there would be this many people buying homes in Tampa if it was that huge of a problem. What you do have to look at when you're looking into buying a new home, whether it's an older home or new construction, is the foundation. So when I'm looking at homes with clients, whether you're looking at the colors and whether you can put your sofa there or whatnot, I'm looking at the foundation. I'm looking for cracks. I'm looking for uneven floors. I'm always looking at that because I know that's a high ticket problem. So we have foundation professionals that we can hire to come out and do an inspection. That can be, and by the way, your inspector should do a preliminary foundation kind of look-see. It should come up on their report as well. I ran into an issue in Seminole Heights when my buyers were buying a home over there, and it sits on the water, on the river over there, and there was a significant crack in the garage. Well, I just got a professional out there to take a look at it and to let us know, and he went underneath the house and he saw that some of the beams were actually not positioned right, and that's the reason why the house was settling wrong. So sometimes it's just settling problems, sometimes it's foundational problems, but trust me, you're gonna be fine. Come on down, don't let that stop you from moving to Florida. So to recap, again, with all the mandates that are going on, don't worry, Florida's not really that affected. I don't really see anything changing here. I think that sums it up for some of the pros and cons in an updated version right now for Tampa. I'm interested to know if any of you out there have anything to add, so please comment below. It helps everybody. It helps me too. There's some things I don't know either, And as always, if you like my content, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And don't forget to comment below. Really love that. And I can't help you if you don't reach out to me. So if you have any real estate related questions or needs, thinking of relocating, want to have a dialogue, go ahead and hit me up. All of my links are below as well. And until next time, everybody, be well. I'll see you around.